Beyblade remakes are a new concept that was introduced last generation in Beyblade Burst, where they took previous bays like Storm Pegasus and made it into the Burst system. This wasn't just like a new Pegasus Beyblade that has the Pegasus motif, but it's like looks completely different. No, it was literally taking older bays and making them into the new Burst system. Now, there were quite a bit of interesting choices that were made in regards to remaking these bays, and so there isn't a whole lot to go off of when we talk about remakes, especially because remakes that are coming up with Beyblade X are going to be adapted into Beyblade X system, just like Dronzer S. I don't know anything about Plastic Gen. The things I have about Plastic Gen, I've had to write them down because I don't know that much about them. But we have one remake so far in Beyblade X. We have Storm Pegasus confirmed. We have a motif of Storm Pegasus out. We know that we've seen Trigger S. We've seen pictures of that remake almost being complete. And we also have a picture of what we think to be a Victory Valkyrie remake coming up. So we know that there's going to be remakes that are coming out. And then we also had the poll for the, remakes. Like Takara Tomy was doing a poll to see what Beyblades people would want remade. And so we have a few bays from that are likely going to get remade. But regardless, I want to talk about, it's cool to have remakes. It's cool to see, older bays get re-released, but will they even be any good, bro? That's what we're going to be talking about today in today's video. Hey, if you like these discussion videos, make sure to leave a like, and we will do more of these in the future. But yeah, let's talk about these remakes, man. Before we continue into the video, if you are interested in buying any of the Beyblade X releases, the newest releases, or even this Dronzer S release, it's going to be one spot to do that at, and that's going to be Mall of Toys. At Mall of Toys, when you use code TFLAME2K at checkout, you save 5% and support the channel, my man. Hey, but if you're a nerd like me, Mall of Toys has other nerdy things like Japanese Pokemon cards, Legos, so make sure to check out Mall of Toys, and when you do, use code TFLAME2K. You can also click the link in the description. That'll take you to Mall of Toys. Clicking that link will also support the channel as well. Also, if you want more content that is not just Beyblade content, I do have my main channel where I cover everything that is not Beyblade related. So we're talking Pokemon. I have a bunch of fire content over there. More content to come. That's also going to be linked in the description. Like I said, follow me on Instagram, Twitter. Everything there is to know about the T-Flame is going to be in the description. Oh, and before we even talk about Beyblade X and how remakes can even transition into that system, I think it's important to look at Beyblade Burst and how they handled remakes. So the top two remakes, or the first two remakes that came out, is we have Pegasus, Storm Pegasus and Lightning Eldrago. And when both of these released, they were actually really good at the time. Both of them have metal in the layer. Like, as you know, the Beyblade Burst system works. There's not metal contact, but you do have this metal disc. But all the metal remakes have metal, like, inside this part. You can't see it, but there's metal inside here, adding more weight. Meaning, on arrival, these two, the Pegasus and Eldrago, were really good. But as you know, we got a set with other remakes. We got Rock Leone, we got Burn Phoenix, we got, Rock Leone, Burn Phoenix. I have all of these. I just don't have all of them out. Rock Leone, Burn Phoenix, of course, Pegasus Eldrago, Flame Sagittario, Earth Eagle. From Metal Masters, we had Galaxy Pegasus, which I believe I have. Yep, I got Galaxy Pegasus, the Galaxy Pegasus remake. Got that right here. I also have the Sagittario remake right here. We have the Meteor Drago remake, the Gravity Perseus remake, and what else was Hades Kerbex from Metal Masters. And unfortunately, the only ones that were good, Meteor Drago was okay. I mean, it was good because it had spin stealing with the rubber, so it was like comparable to Fafnir. But the main problem, most of the remakes, not even for Beyblade Metal Fight that were remade into Burst, most of the remakes were pretty bad. All of them had the issue with Plastic Generation remakes. I don't have the only one I have out is Trigger V? Is this Trigger V? I don't know my Plastic Gen. I just know this one's the best one. But a lot of the Plastic Gen shapes, if you've seen Plastic Generation bays, they're very recoily. And with the burst system, they took those and they didn't give them good burst resistance. So for a lot of the Plastic Gen bays, when they were remade, they were not great because they had way too much recoil. And with burst, if you have too much recoil, and you don't have good burst resistance, you're going to cause yourself to burst. And so, with that being said, a lot of the remakes were bad. And a lot of the way they balanced, like, Metal Fight remakes, for example, Flame Sagittario here, the way they balanced it is they made it uneven. As you can see, this little point is a little uneven. This point comes out more, and this bottom point comes out more. And so, in the Earth Eagle, you know, I think I got to get Earth Eagle out just to show y'all. You know what? I'll insert a picture of Earth Eagle. But basically, Earth Eagle, what they did was they made it, you know, Earth Eagle's thing was that it was always round, right? But they made it not round. And so it sucked. And this only, like, the way that they went about it, like, making things more recoily, of course it's going to work with, like, the 2 attack types, right? But, you know, it was like, Takara Tomy kind of made Metal Fight remakes more aggressive because I think the idea was they'd be too round and they'd break the burst metagame, but Takara Tomy already had a bunch of round Beyblades in the same generation. Like, these were released during Cho Z, and we literally got. Hold up, I gotta show you this. I have a really. You gotta keep in mind, I have a good burst collection. Like, you're telling me they couldn't make Earth Eagle a circle. You know what? I gotta get Earth Eagle. Hold up. Here's one of the Earth Eagle recolors. As you can see, look at that. See how that part points out? Like, see that? I'm holding it like this, and you can see this point sticks out. Like, look. You see that? That point sticks out. So they couldn't make Earth Eagle a circle, right? Because it'd be too broken. They literally made this guy. Think at that. Look at how round he is. Look at how round Spriggan is. In the same generation, we had Phoenix. I think I have Perfect Phoenix up here. Do I have Perfect Phoenix up here? I feel like I just... Oh, here we go. In the same series, you have Perfect Phoenix, which is completely round. So, I just think the idea of the way that they nerfed some of the Metal Fight remakes, and just remakes in general, to make them not round because they'd be broken, hurt them a lot. Which sucks as a Metal Fight fan because, you know, a lot of times creators were saying when these were coming out that, like, hey, these are mainly for collection purposes and not battle purposes. But if I don't think that should be the case, and I don't think that was the case inherently. I think Takara Tomy made this intentionally because, I mean, they want it to sell. They want people to use it. I get these are collectorized items, but at the end of the, like, or they're going to appeal towards collectors. But regardless, these came in sets with launchers. Every Beyblade that is made is made with the idea of battling in mind, period. So when you do things like that, they don't really help it at all. It's just like, I don't get what the point of that is. So, but regardless, you know, I don't know if that was just a burst thing, and so maybe, you know, looking at the one remake we have in Beyblade X, which is not a lot of... This does not inspire a lot of confidence for me. I'm going to tell you that much. This Dronzer S does not inspire a lot. It has the name on the base, which is good. That's the thing I like about Plastic Gen. It has the names of the base. So for me, I can look at it and tell what bay it is as someone who doesn't know anything about Plastic Gen. But I do think, you know, there is a little bit to say this is the burst system, right? So maybe, you know, this will translate differently. And with Dronzer S, you know, this is our first example of how they translated an old Beyblade into Beyblade X. And what they did was they made the top part a little metal, like this, all the outer parts are metal, but then the weight disc, they made that also more of like a part of the contact point, right? So the metal part on Plastic Gen base is a little bit, the metal part doesn't really make contact, but they made it make contact for this, which is interesting, but you know, that doesn't... The one remake we have does not really show how other bays are going to get adapted, especially Metal Fight and Burst bays. But we do have an idea of how those are going to be adapted. And so, getting into, you know... I will say, the other Plastic Gen remake that we have, the Trigger S, I will insert a picture of it, looks really similar in shape to Dronzer, just because we see that it has the same little slope design right here. Like, it looks like it's going to be relatively similar. And if that's the case, that means it's probably not going to be great. The main problem that Dronzer S has is weight. And that's also, you know, I think some of the problems that other remakes have had. Not really Metal Fight remakes. Metal Fight remakes have decent weight, but some of the Plastic Gen remakes, did not have a lot of weight, and unfortunately this one suffers from the same thing a lot of other plastic gen remakes suffer from. But with Beyblade X having metal, I think it's going to be hard to inherently make these bays that bad. Like, the only other Beyblade X bay that I gotta say, other than Drumser S, that has any sort of a damn weight issue. I should have had this bay out already. I'm sorry. Hold up. Where's this bay at? I have my bays right here. Oh, here it is. The only other Beyblade X bay that really has an issue with weight is Rhino Horn. And that also comes down to shape, too. But anyway, so far, previous remakes have not been great. The one Beyblade X remake we have so far has not been great. But there's still an incredible amount of potential when it comes to remakes that can be done, with, older bays, right? So with Plastic Gen, of course, to adapt, did I already drop Dronzer? Here it is. So with Dronzer, it had to be kind of remade in a different way, so that way, it could the design had to be changed pretty significantly, I gotta say, to make it accommodate Beyblade X. And I guess you could say the Metalfied bays had to be remade a lot to fit into the burst system. But with Beyblade X, the fact that we already have really crazy recoily shapes like drawn sword makes me think that, like, when we get Storm Pegasus, which is already confirmed, if Storm Pegasus is bad, it might not be because of, like, it's nerfed. It could just be because they remade Storm Pegasus, and Storm Pegasus in stock combo isn't great. But I do think Metal Fight bays have the potential to be good, because they're just, like, we're dealing with metal contact again, right? So this means they can literally just take previous molds from the Metal Fight bays, change the dimensions if you need to, and reuse them. I do think Metal Fight bays during these remakes have the potential to be good, just because the shapes are already, some of the shapes are good. Pegasus isn't the greatest. Pegasus' shape is not really great for attack, mainly because, it's a little round. The Burst remake was able to be good because of the weight, but the original to everyone that said bless you, thank you. But the original Storm Pegasus had the issue of weight and design. But with Beyblade X, if they make it weigh decently, could be good for stamina. Could be. But main thing I want to talk about is, other bays that, are likely going to get remade. Lightning El Drago, this gets made into a burst. This gets remade into Beyblade X. It's going to go crazy. It's going to go crazy. This would be a great left spin design to adapt. So that would be cool. But, other bays, I'm excited for the potential that it could have for Metal Fight. Because we know what Metal Fight parts are good and what Metal Fight parts are not good. So, and a lot of the bays I think that did well in the poll would be great. Meteor El Drago would be good. Earth Eagle would be good. Rock Leone would be good. We can see the potential in the Beyblade X remakes as long as they are not made to be bad. The Beyblade remakes have to be made to be not garbage. And the precedent we have right now is not great, but the thing is we have potential, right? And when you look at remakes, like I said before, they don't have the greatest track record. But I think with Beyblade X, the system that we're in is metal. And you look at, like, not even just, the Metal Fight remakes. The Burst remakes had the potential to be insane. Like, Excalibur being made into a X remake with this sword? That's gonna be nuts. Which is why we do see a little bit of nerfing. We have kind of gotten a little bit of nerf confirmed with one of the remakes, and that's the Valkyrie remake. Here's an image of the Valkyrie that we see, and we can see, here's Victory Valkyrie that's being remade, right? But instead of remaking Victory Valkyrie, I don't have the exact disc, but this is a close enough to it. This is Legacy, but this is basically the same disc that they're adapting. Instead of making the plastic contact points, the part that's going to be metal, it's the metal part, like this, Because Burst in, like, the design of Burst is more similar to Plastic than Metal Fight, where you have the top layer, the metal, and then the bottom part. Now, the systems are different, but Burst is similar to Plastic in that way, in that you have the top layer, that's the blade, right? And then you got the metal that's in the middle. And so with Dronzer, with Dronzer, what they did was they moved the metal up, and we're seeing that that's going to be the case with Burst for at least Valkyrie, mainly because this shape broke a lot back in the day. And so this shape being adapted into Beyblade X, this is going to be the contact points we see, which it's a nice upper design. It's not going to be that great, but I think that's going to kill Valkyrie, because I don't think Valkyrie's going to have that great of attack if these are not the recoil points that are going to be made. But regardless, Drawn Sword is Valkyrie's design, but just a lot better. But I think that's just for Valkyrie. With Excalibur, it's going to be hard to reuse, like, have the disc come out. I think they're probably just going to use the one ratchet that we're seeing with Tron Buster. I forget the name of the one that's coming out. But anyway, Excalibur has a lot of potential. So will the remakes be good? They can be. Will they be? It's hard to say yes, but it's also hard to say no, because we're in unknown territory, right? So I guess this video, I was trying to answer a question, but, like, I don't think we really have a solid answer, just because, I mean, like I said, if the Beyblade X remakes are bad, it's because the Karatomi is intentionally making them bad. Like, the designs for Metal Fight Bays are great. Like, even if they are more round than Beyblade X Bays, that will give them potential, because we don't have a lot of really round Beyblade X Bays. A lot of them have little recoil points. If they make Earth Eagle the way they did, like, you know, this design for Earth Eagle was bad in Burst, but this design in Beyblade X might not be bad. Because the little recoil it generates. Beyblade X is built around recoil. So, it's really going to come down to weight. And that's pretty much it. I mean, if the remakes are really light, then they're not going to be good. But the shapes can maybe carry. Any Eldrago remake is going to be good, just over the pure fact that it's left spin. But the other bays, regardless of if it's Burst or if it's Metal Fight, they can be good. Because, like I've said, we've seen Metal Fight bays be good. We've had an entire generation of Metal Fight. It's just, please don't butcher them. Like, even if they mess up the shapes were bad in Burst because of some weird balancing, apparently. But with Beyblade X, where recoil is a good thing, messing up the shapes could help. I don't know. But, you know, given the crazy designs that we have in Beyblade X so far, and the designs are only going to continue to get crazier, I do think, you know, a lot of the designs can kind of be kept a little crazy. Maybe they got to round off some edges, but other than that, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what Karatomi does. I think the bays are going to be good. I think the reason why I think also remakes are going to be good, at least when they first come out, is because we don't inherently have a lot of Beyblade X releases. Like, there's not a lot of unique Beyblade X bays out there. So getting new bays that are just going to be able to be used is going to, I think, just add regardless. So even if they aren't the strongest thing on arrival, the fact that it's going to add variety to the metagame is going to be great. And so I have high hopes for the remakes. I am a little nervous for Storm Pegasus. Because Storm Pegasus, the shape is already not great. But in Beyblade X, it's going to be interesting to see how it translates. I think it can be good. It's just, like I said, it's just going to come down to weight. And yeah, I'm hopeful for Storm Pegasus. I think the best remake that is probably going to, if they make it, any Eldrago that is made is going to be great, like I said. Any Excalibur that is made is going to be great. And yeah, maybe Longinus, if you know anything about Beyblade Burst. But anyway, this is a nice little discussion video. Let me know if you like these, and I'll keep them coming. But anyway, that was, talking about remakes. If you liked this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Check out my other channel in the description. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.